The early 2000s were such an interesting time for gaming. So many different companies were trying new things. They were doing, weird stuff. Everywhere you looked, people were being creative in just some of the most fun ways, and I kind of miss it. It was just a weird, fun time to be into gaming. And one of the games that came around in that time was Pikmin. Pikmin was a lot of things. It was kind of weird, it was kind of niche. At its core, Pikmin is a real-time strategy game with elements of time management, resource management, exploration, puzzle solving, and survival. There were so many elements of Pikmin that just felt like things that didn't go together, but at the same time were so amazing when they did. To me, the odd elements coming together in Pikmin is a lot like chocolate-covered bacon. It's something that a lot of people aren't really into, and it's something that sounds like it shouldn't work, but it's so amazing. Back in the early days of the GameCube, my brothers and I rented the first Pikmin game and immediately fell in love. When the second one came out, we made sure to nab that up because we needed to have it. We didn't get a lot of games. We always had to choose something that we really liked. A lot of times we would rent first and decide later. Pikmin was one that we rented quite a bit, so when we heard a second one was coming out, we figured we'd just hold off until that happened. It wasn't a bad plan. The reason I want to talk about Pikmin isn't just because it's one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. It's also because there's a new one coming out very soon, and I can't fucking wait. This game was so niche and so unknown by so many people for so many years, and now there's just this huge amount of hype. Hype that's like unfathomable. Like if you told me 10 years ago that a new Pikmin game would come out and people would be buying ad space in Times Square to just try to get people to buy that, that's nuts to me. We'll get to that though. So I want to jump into kind of what Pikmin is, the hype surrounding the new game, and my thoughts on all of it, in the hopes that I can get some of you viewers out there to give this game a chance, because it is so good. Everyone should play Pikmin. So the basic plot of Pikmin is that you, a small spaceman, end up on the planet PNF 404, which is definitely Earth, and you either have to collect treasures or fruits. It really changes depending on the game. In the very first game, you play the intrepid Captain Olimar. Olimar isn't a chosen hero or some kind of uber badass or a reincarnation of a hero from generations past. Olimar is a delivery guy. Olimar drives his ship and makes deliveries to other planets. And one day, his ship gets struck and he ends up crash landing on a mysterious place he'd never been before. The planet he lands on is completely covered by oxygen, which he can't breathe. And he only has 30 days before he asphyxiates and fucking dies. This is from an E for Everyone Nintendo game from 2001. As he's wandering around, he finds a strange little ship. Throughout the levels, he finds 2 more of these ships, and each one spits out a different color of Pikmin. Every Pikmin has their own use and their own way that they are utilized throughout the game. Red Pikmin do the most damage and are immune to fire. Yellows can be thrown high and carry bomb rocks. And blue Pikmin breathe underwater. Throughout the course of the first game, with the assistance of the Pikmin, Olimar survives this hostile landscape while collecting all the parts to his broken ship. If you collect all 30 parts, you get a really nice ending where the Pikmin follow you into space to say goodbye. If you find the 25 required parts, but you don't find all of the not required parts, you get the okay ending. And if you don't find all 30 parts, you get the bad ending, where Olimar gets turned into a little seed man, after crashing and dying. The first game is notorious for having a fairly okay amount of challenge, surprisingly. There were a lot of pretty easy games on the Nintendo GameCube, but Pikmin had some challenge to it. You really had to strategize at times. That said, most people got one of the 2 good endings. Not a lot of people saw the bad ending back in the day. Even kids playing this game, myself included, you find the parts. You've got 30 days to find 30 parts. It's not bad. As long as you can find at least one every day, you're good. And you still have to strategize on how to get it back to your ship, and you have a time limit to do it. There's a day and night cycle. When the day ends, you end up flying up and just kind of orbiting in the atmosphere because nocturnal creatures awaken and you don't want to get fucking eaten. Now in the second game, they introduce a second character, Louie, who is kind of a dick. The base plot of the second game is once you return back to Hakatate, the planet that Olimar is from, You find out that the freight company you work for has basically gone under. What? A random bottle cap that you grabbed before you left ends up getting dropped to the ground, and upon inspection, it is found out that that is actually worth a decent amount of money. So your boss that you complained about in the entire first game sends you and Louie back to that planet to collect treasures in the hopes of covering the debt. One of your main motivations in this one being that your ship that you drove in the first one, that you spent all that time fixing, has been pawned off. The second one's interesting because one of the things that it introduces is caves. These sprawling underground dungeons that are increasingly insanely difficult. I wish I had more footage of the second one to show you, but I've been replaying the first one so many times because I forgot how much I loved it. I haven't got quite as much done on the second. One of the main new strategic functions in the second game is that you can swap between Olimar and Louie so that you can kind of plan out what you're going to do. I apologize for the inability to really articulate what I'm saying there, but I have a very short attention span, and Schrody here is just tearing my brain apart, being adorable. In addition to a second captain and caves, we've also got two new Pikmin types. White Pikmin, who are small and fast and are immune to poison. They are also poisonous to anything that eats it. They do very little attack damage, but they can really get items to your ship quickly. The second new Pikmin is the purple Pikmin. Kinda has like a sumo motif. I really dig it. Purple Pikmin are the exact opposite of white Pikmin. They do twice the damage of a regular Pikmin. They can carry 10 times the weight of a regular Pikmin, but they are extremely slow. Another feature added in Pikmin 2 is the concept of sprays. Ultra Spicy Spray, which boosts the attack and the attack speed of all of your Pikmin, and Ultra Bitter Spray, which can straight up turn enemies into stone. Interesting things that are added in Pikmin 2, in addition to the other things I've already said. The day cycle stays the same, but when you're in a cave, there is no day cycle. You can take as long in a cave as needed. When you pop back out of the cave, whatever time it was when you hopped in, remains the same. Does that make a lot of sense story-wise? No. But mechanically, it is kind of helpful. Now, the end of Pikmin 2 is very fun, and if you haven't played it yet, I don't want to spoil it, because it is on the eShop, along with the first one, and I think people need to play it. It's a really fun game, and the ending's pretty crazy. Pikmin 3 once again adds two new Pikmin types. Winged Pikmin that are small and fly. They don't do much damage, but they're great at carrying things long distances. And Rock Pikmin, which can do extra damage when they are thrown at things and can break through crystal and glass. White and purple Pikmin do not make a return in the storyline, sadly, but they are there in a lot of the side missions. There's a lot of really good side content in Pikmin 3. In Pikmin 3, you play an entirely new cast of characters. Alf, Brittany, and Charlie, who are explorers from the planet Kopai. This is the game where we get the name PNF 404 for Earth. And if you caught that was a page not found error joke, then you get points for paying attention. One of the new strategic features added in this one is a go here function. You can basically switch to any of your captains that are anywhere in the map, click somewhere in the map, and that captain, along with any of the Pikmin that are under their command, will run to that spot. This makes time management when you're really trying to collect things so much easier. Your main motivation in Pikmin 3 is that your home planet of Kopai is going through a food shortage. Satellites that were sent out found food sources on PNF 404, so the three main characters journey there to find fruit. Instead of finding treasures and Duracell batteries, in this one you are literally just finding fruit. There's a really nice sequence at the end of every day where the juice is made. It's quite satisfying. Like Olimar before you, the characters of Pikmin 3 crash onto PNF 404. There's a lot of crashing in this series, and there's a lot of fun fan theories about why. One of the main things that you lose is your cosmic drive key, the thing you need to go home. Luckily, Olimar and Louie were exploring on the planet at the same time that you guys crashed. Olimar finds your cosmic drive key, and so all you have to do is find Olimar and rescue him, and you can go home with all of your juice. Unless some dickhead steals it all and runs away. At the end of Pikmin 3, your characters, as well as Louie and Olimar, are all reunited, and they all go off into space after a nice goodbye. Most people had a nice goodbye. I'm sure the Kopaites didn't say goodbye very politely to Louie. And all of that finally brings us around to the upcoming Pikmin 4. Now, we have a lot of questions about Pikmin 4, and none of them will really be answered until the game just releases. One thing that's known for sure is that Olimar has crashed, either again or for the first time. I don't know, long story. And for the first time in the series, you get to create your own character. Sadly, the captain you're creating is the only playable character in the game, as far as we know. But that's okay, because we also now have a dog. I like him. This game, as per usual, is introducing 2 new Pikmin. The Glow Pikmin, which are adorable and look like little ghosts. And Ice Pikmin, which freeze shit. I'm very excited for the Glow Pikmin because green happens to be my favorite color. Another thing that this game is adding is a night mode, which I am just really excited about. Which brings us to the beginning of the insane amount of Pikmin hype. So the hype for this game has been just palpable from the beginning. You can't really bring up the Pikmin fandom without bringing up the YouTuber Arlo.
Pikmin, 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 Pikmin.
Arlo's main content is video game reviews. He reviews from all the consoles, but he does have a large affinity for Nintendo. If it involves Mario, Zelda, especially Metroid, he wants to cover it. He's gonna cover it. But one of his favorite series that up until recently he hasn't had much chance to talk about is Pikmin. He has an entire 4-hour video just breaking down the first game, and it is such a good watch. As you can imagine, Arlo was pretty excited when they finally announced Pikmin 4.
Oh, it's happening! It's 2023!
Me too, buddy. Me too. But Arlo's surge of Pikmin-related content because of his excitement is only the tip of the Pikmin hype iceberg. No, where we need to go, my friends, is r/Pikmin. r/Pikmin is perhaps one of the most chaotic subreddits I've ever come across, and I love it. There are so many unhinged inside jokes, there are so many weird references to things that aren't real. I recently saw an article trying to explain the character Fiddlebert. Fiddlebert is a green recolor of Olimar that was a cut second captain from the first game. Except that no, he wasn't. Fiddlebert exists only in the minds of r/Pikmin, and something about that is fantastic. The fact that such a strange off-joke became articles on the internet is pretty damn funny, but that's not where it ends. In the last week, multiple members of r/Pikmin found out about an app that I do not remember the name of, but I will have right here. You can purchase ad space on Times Square. For $40, you can purchase 15 seconds of ad space for whatever the hell you want. You know what they wanted to do? The Times Square sweep started when an individual decided that they wanted to put a video of Olimar twerking on Times Square. Videos shot of said ad went viral. r/Pikmin was impressed. Next thing you know, everyone was buying up ad space on Times Square. Everything from inside jokes involving Fiddlebert to just blatant buy the game ads. And it's fantastic. The amount of love being shown here, I think, is hilariously cool. Now, sadly, I did not have $40 to spare, so I was not a part of the New York Times sweep. I'd like to think that chronicling it here in a video is at least in part helping out the cause, but I do wish that I had been a part of it because it is so funny. So look, in conclusion, Pikmin is awesome. It has been a huge part of my life. I'm so happy that it's finally getting love and attention. There are so many YouTube videos coming out now. There are TikToks. Some of them have been made by me. Check me out on TikTok at Dogface701. Pikmin's been mentioned on random YouTube videos lately.
I feel so bad for the preteens 10 feet away just trying to enjoy Pikmin 2.
It sounds like listening to a team of Pikmin trying to lift something heavy.
I love that a game that is so niche and at one point was so obscure is finally getting attention. And it's so great because it is such a key part of my life. I loved Pikmin so much when I was young, and I still do. Nintendo adding 1 and 2 to the Switch is one of the coolest things ever. It is so random. There are so many other games that were on the GameCube that could use a remake that would do so well. They could have made so much money with so many other games but they chose Pikmin, and I am so happy about that. And yeah, it has a lot to do with the fact that a new one's coming out, and they're hoping that this one does well. Pikmin does not exactly sell well. What? A game where a little alien man fights monsters with tiny plant people while collecting treasures and solving puzzles doesn't sell well? No, it doesn't. It's very niche. It's very weird. Explaining it to people does not help. They always look at you like you're a crazy person. But hopefully this one makes the sales. I really do think this could be the chance that Pikmin finally becomes a household name. A Nintendo IP up there with the likes of Mario and The Legend of Zelda and Kirby. Because to me, Pikmin is at that level. Pikmin is as good as those other franchises. To me. And to so many other people. Many of whom are delightfully unhinged. Look, this franchise isn't for everyone. I accept that. But I also think if you like games, if you like fun mechanics and strategic battles and puzzles of any kind, that you really owe it to yourself to give this franchise a shot. There's a reason that so many people are talking about how Pikmin has been one of their favorite games since the early 2000s. Because it's stuck with them that long. Look, I'm just saying if you haven't played these games and you've heard someone talk about it and you thought, man, these look interesting, you really do owe it to yourself to give them a shot. I think you should play 3. I think you should play 1 and 2. I think you should try all of the Pikmin games. I'm not going to mention Hey Pikmin because I've never tried that one. I did not own a DS. All I'm saying is that this franchise is very near and dear to my heart. And I'm so happy to see people finally enjoying it and to see so many people asking about it, trying it for the first time, to see people talking about how long they've loved it. All of that to me is just gravy. I love it. And it's making the hype for the game that's nearly here so much more palpable. Alright, so that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. So this video is supposed to end with a bit where the doorbell rings. I don't even have a working doorbell. And I go outside and find the box with Pikmin 4 waiting on my porch. However, my package has been delayed and I don't even know when. It still says arriving today, but it also says arriving late. So, whatever that means. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I didn't want to delay it until God knows when. See you guys next time. Okay, but seriously, I'll catch you guys next time. I'm Dogface, and I've got some men to pick.